Hey y'all, my name is Andreas Cook, and I am the owner and founder of Bankedoutt Radio Show, along with a lot of other business ventures. And today I'm coming to you. I want to talk about Bankedoutt business tips. These are things that I've learned along the way. I've been a full-time entrepreneur since 2013, entrepreneur since 2005. Been in a lot of various industries, helped build business over six figures, well into the high six figures, almost to the seven-figure level. So I wanted to talk to y'all about some tips that I think will help y'all along the way for those who are starting out or who have started out and been having some trouble with, really getting their business off the ground. The first thing you have to remember is that, number one, you're solving a problem when you start your business. That's what businesses are. They solve problems. There's a lot of people who have started business because they're passionate about something, but they're not necessarily using that passion and using that technical expertise in a business manner. So for instance, you might be a great plumber, but it doesn't mean that you should start a plumbing business. You might be a great doctor or a great baker, but it doesn't necessarily mean that, you should open your own practice or your own bakery. Running a business, again, it's about problem solving, and you have to do the necessary, check your local market to see if there's really a demand for that particular service or good products that the market needs in that area. Without that being done, you're just shooting yourself in the foot. Tip number two: start small and build from there. A lot of people, want to scale their business. They want to start something. They want to hit that $1 million status. They want to hit $100,000 status. They want to get $50,000 in a year. You gotta have a proper system in place. You can grow too quickly, and if you don't have proper processes in place, it's not going to work out for your business. You're basically going to shoot yourself in the foot, and that business will die. Because think about it: if you're starting out a business, think about what your income is yearly. So let's say you make $40,000 a year, and let's say your average price of transaction for your business is $10. You're gonna need 4,000 clients that do business with you one time in that year to be able to get the 40,000 gross sales. Or you can break it down to where 400 of those buy from you, 10 times. So that's a lot. Building 400 clients or building 4,000 clients, that's a lot of people that you have to appeal to. And also, we'll get into, talking about the customer acquisition costs. The customer acquisition cost is basically a business term where within that industry how much it costs to get that customer. Some industries it's $150 to $350 depending on the industry, sort of like softwares or financial services and tools and products. Other might be 5 to 7 with retail. So you have to know what it is that it takes to pull in those customers, because remember, you're prospecting. Everyone that fits your demographic that you're going after is the prospect. Everybody outside of that, it doesn't appeal to them. So you have to narrow down your prospects, and then from your prospects you got to win them over to turn into customers. All your prospects will not turn into customers. Number three, use your local resources. We have public libraries, we have the Chamber of Commerce, you have small business development centers, you have SCORE as an organization, etc. You have all these resources at your disposal to be able to help pave the way. They help you with business plans. They help you with finding money and knowing which money you can apply for. Some businesses that are small that start off and they might get grants. Not a whole lot of them, but some of them you might qualify for those. They help give you the administrative processes that you need to put in place to be able to conduct business, because it's more than just running out here and trying to get a quick sale. There's a lot of research involved. There's things to, with the KISS model, keep it simple, stupid, where you want your customer to be able to do business with you in a simple manner, make it easy for them. So what merchant processors do you have to use, the type of data that you need to collect, the email marketing campaigns, all sorts of different things, policy and procedures, how do you handle refunds, insurance, business location, if you're going after location, commercial insurance, all sorts of things that you have to think about. The trends that are in that industry, depending on what you're doing. Some businesses might be, landscaping businesses, for the most part, are high during the spring and summertime. Sometimes if they live in the southern states in the fall, during the wintertime, they focus on pruning and other things, but they had to add to the actual landscaping business and not just be like a quote-unquote lawn care business. Participating in your industry opens up your network. This is tip number 4. Participating in your industry opens up your network, and you get to get firsthand information, meaning that, are you going to conferences? Are you going to workshops? Are you out there talking to other people who are in the industry and who are at the level that you're trying to get to? It's not all about competition. There are collaborations that you can do to where it opens you up to doing more business. But participate trade shows, all sorts of things that where there's an industry around what you want to do is your business. There are some businesses are part of institutions that are regulated, like educational type of businesses. So they have certain standards for education that they have to adhere to, certain regulatory bodies that they have to adhere to, things of that nature. So participating in the industry and going through and not just focusing on yourself, but then focus on the industry as a whole, so you will understand where you are in a particular business, in the industry. Collaborate with others. Tip number 5. A lot of people, overlook this. There's a lot of collaboration that can be done. Most people just think you're supposed to be in competition with everybody, but you're really not. There are a lot of different businesses where they have collaborated with one another because they might not necessarily sell the goods or services that or offer those, and it would be too expensive for them to offer them as the actual business, and they partner with another business. They're in the same industry or adjacent industry where they don't really step on each other's toes. But even if, like, let's say you're a baker and you can go to a baking store and they might not have products that you bake, or you bake better, and they'll sell your products. They'll increase their cash flow, but you'll also get money from selling to them. So there's all sorts of different things that you can do to collaborate. It's not always about competition. Tip number 6, survey your customers and potential customers. Gather data. As a small business, you need data. Data is vital to helping and maintaining your business, because you get to see trends. As small businesses, you get to actually take advantage of the trends because you get to see them, and it's not a huge financial investment on your end, and it's big enough to where you can make money. Bigger companies have to wait till trends become more trendy, and that they appeal to a broader spectrum of people, because they want to be able to make money. They don't want something. If you got $1 million or multi-billion-dollar business, you're not going to care about a trend that's only about 100,000 as far as revenue stream. That doesn't do anything for you, because the amount of resources you use to exploit that trend is going to be more than the payout, your ROI, your return on investment. Smaller businesses can take advantage of things like this. So when you're gathering data from your customers and potential customers, and you're asking them certain questions and you're processing this data, you get to see trends, you get to see information that's coming down the pipeline. So if you have like a particular product and they keep telling you that this is the best new flavor, or they would like to see this, and this multiple thing is mentioned time and time again or whatever, that's a trend that's about to start to happen. So take advantage of that. You can sell to them. Number 7, having the right mindset, thinking about success and what it looks like, reading, opening up your perspective, things of that nature. You want to do these things because it puts you on a path to success, and it puts you on a path to greatness. You have to not think about it in terms of what you're getting out of it right there at the moment. Yes, you got to have your short-term goals, you got to have your mid-term goals, you got to have your long-term goals, but you got to have that right mindset. Can't always think that, cash on hand every single time. What about infrastructure? What about building something? You might be in an industry where you're actually, the trailblazer, and no one has done it before. So you're going to bear the blunt of like clearing out the forest, so everyone else behind you can see the trail. I've done it myself, whether it was in the podcasting and the music industry, the geographical area I was at. Nobody else was doing it at the level that I was doing it at, and I was a trailblazer. So then other people could come and follow suit. And I learned how to diversify and expand my podcast to where it turns into more like a media production house now. So sometimes you're ahead of the curve. So you got to be able to, you know what I'm saying, prepare for that and think about long term. But then also, like I said, it's not always about the quick sale. Of course, you do need quick sales to keep that cash flow going, but overall, it's about keeping that right mindset and knowing that you're building something. What is your vision? What is your mission for your business? It should be like long term. It should be sustainable. That way you can make decisions that will help keep you sustainable, because industries change every 5 years or so. They're changing. Things in the industry change. The way that you moved 5 years ago is not the way that you move now. So you got to be prepared for that. So like I said, it's always having that mindset of the things are always evolving. What your business starts out day one will not be the same but day 100 or day, 750. So these was some 7 tips that I thought of that, where I've seen over the past. Now there's plenty more things that, people can do to help elevate their business. One, keeping your operational hours, whatever you say they are, that's the way you operate it. That way you train and teach your customers when and how to do business with you. But anything outside of that, you don't have to do. But if you're not functioning in that space that you put out there, then of course people are not going to rock with you. They're not going to support because you're not being convenient for them. There's other stuff as well. Like I've seen a lot of small business owners, they make money from the business and they start putting the money in their pocket. You can't do that. You got to be able to build it up and then pay yourself. Now, if you want to start paying yourself from day one, a small amount. So if you selling something, you make $50 that day or whatever, then okay, pay yourself like $10 for the effort. That way you use $40 to go back into the business to keep it going. So if you want any more tips, if you need to consult with you and help you build your business, I am available. Direct contact 478-390-1709, or you can email me bankedoutradioshow@gmail.com.